Hello, and welcome to Mountain Blade Warband. Probably one of my favorite games. Um, I've enjoyed many playthroughs of this game, and let's just make room for a new one. Today we're actually going to be trying something different where I do something I'm going to not like. When I first played this game, I found it on the Xbox store. I didn't know of what Mountain Blade originally was, but I saw Warband on the Xbox store. A couple months later, I bought it. I'm like, man, this is hard. Found out I could turn down the settings. And since then, I have left the settings on the easiest difficulty. So, I'm going to change that. I don't know what these two are necessarily, but I think I like where these two are at. Yeah. Yeah, I already had that on. Okay, I like that. Lance control. Oh, okay. Damage to player. Oh, okay. Damage to friends. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, so there's only 3 settings usually. Normal. Turn the camera with horse in first person. Okay, I think I know what that means. Normally I think it shows the difficulty percentage on the side, but I feel like for some reason it's not. I'm just gonna leave that with that was it. I don't necessarily know. I really like the ability to zoom, and I'm not gonna invert my y-axis. That's just no. I don't like autosave on. I will save by myself. Enabled controlled attacking? I don't know what that means. I'm gonna leave that one. Show attack direction. I don't really like that one. Show targeting reticle. That means I'm just not going to use a ranged weapon. I'll turn that off. Oof, I'll turn that off. Yeah. I don't know if voice commands literally means me being able to control my units, because I have to do that. There's no way I'm not telling my units what to do. I can't just let them run amok. Oh no, wait, let me make sure all these options are saved. Oh my god. I'm literally so scared right now. I'm so scared. Let's do this. Fun fact. This game was originally started by a husband and wife team in their garage. I'm not going to try and pronounce their names because I don't want to mess them up. But, beautiful love story that. Anyway, welcome, adventurer, to Mountain Blade Warband. Before beginning the game, you must create your character. Remember that in the traditional medieval society depicted in the game, war and politics are usually dominated by male members of the nobility. That does not, however, mean that you should not choose to play a female character, or one who is not of noble birth. Male nobles may have a somewhat easier start, but women and commoners can attain all of the same goals, and in fact, may have a much more interesting, if more challenging, early game. Which is true. Playing as a female, you can become queen of the entire land, which I have done, and it is not easy, but it is fun, and interesting, and challenging. Not as challenging as this is about to be. Select your character's gender. Today, I'm going to be a male. You were born years ago in a land far away. Your father was. You are a foreigner in this land, and this land is called Calradia. and you get to choose your father, and he is one of these 6 things: an impoverished noble, a traveling merchant, a veteran warrior, a hunter, a steppe nomad, or a thief. I think, in a sense, the further you go down, the harder the game becomes. I do think I'm going. Do I want a banner to start? If you start as a noble, you start with a banner. Do I want to be that well known? Because I'm a foreigner. In my roleplays, I'll often try to integrate my character into already being lived in this world. But I am a foreigner. I was born years ago in a land far away. I think my father was a veteran warrior. As a child, your family scrabbled out a meager living from your father's wages as a guardsman to the local lord. It was not an easy existence, and you were too poor to get much of an education. You learned mainly how to defend yourself on the streets, with or without a weapon in hand. You started to learn about the world almost as soon as you could walk and talk. You spent your early life as, again, several options: a page in a nobleman's court, a craftsman's apprentice, a shop's assistant, a street urchin, or a stepchild. Now, I think I'm going to go from humble beginnings to becoming a page in a nobleman's court. As a boy growing out of childhood, you were sent to live in the court of one of the nobles of the land. There, your first lessons were in humility, as you waited upon the lords and ladies of the household. Hopefully they taught you how to speak. But from their chess games, their gossip, even the poetry of great deeds and courtly love, you quickly began to learn about the adult world of conflict and competition. You also learned from the rough games of the other children, who battered at each other with sticks and imitations of their elder swords. Then, as a young adult, life changed as it always does. You became, again, several options: a squire, a troubadour, a university student, a goods peddler, a smith, a game poacher. I think I'm going to apprentice to a knight and learn how to fight. Though the distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way you had become a man, and the whole world seemed to change around you. When you were named squire to a noble at court, you practiced long hours with weapons, learning how to deal out hard knocks and how to take them too. You were instructed in your obligations to your lord, and of your duties to those who might one day be your vassals. But in addition to learning the chivalric ideal, you also learned about the less uplifting side. Old warrior stories of ruthless power politics, of betrayals and usurpations of men who used guile as well as valor to achieve their aims. But soon, everything changed and you decided to strike out on your own as an adventurer. What made you take this decision was personal revenge, the loss of a loved one, wanderlust, being forced out of your home, lust for money and power. I'm always a bit of a romantic in a sense, and I know that this option, as all these options, gives boost to certain skills. The loss of a loved one gives you a 2 boost to charisma, which I always appreciate. Only you know exactly what caused you to give up your old life and become an adventurer. All you can say is that you couldn't bear to stay, not with the memory of those you loved so close and so painful. Perhaps your new life will let you forget, or honor the name that you can no longer bear to speak. Become an adventurer and ride to your destiny. And so now, I think we get the skills menu? Yes, tutorial. Now enter your name and distribute your attribute, skill, and weapon points. You can go to various elements on the screen to learn how each one will affect your character. And that's true. Each one will go over how they affect your character, but I'm not going over that in this video. Here we see the enter name screen. I'm not going to put in a name yet. To the left, above where I am in the attributes menu, is where my character would be, but they're currently not there because we haven't made them yet. In the upper right, you will see the description of what each thing will do. I'm now over in the skills menu, going down over each skill, and then the proficiencies menu, each skill. I'm not going to go over them in this video. If you'd like to see that, I may do something like that in the future. I may do it anyway, whether you like it or not. So, Ha. Anyway, 9 strength, I would say is a good start. Going to bump my agility. I'm going to put my first skills into intelligence and into charisma, because I like being a charismatic leader. I like the idea of people having to listen to me. So I just reset real quick, so I could also say I'm going to put my other one into one of my skills into Iron Flesh, because taking hits is fairly necessary, especially since this is going to be at hard. Power throw, power draw, no thank you. Shield, I will probably do, but let's go over the other ones. Athletics, no. Possibly. Future, no. Future, no. Maybe. Yes. Oh. Yeah, I'm going to leave that point in leadership for now. Yes, and I'm going to put the skills I have now into shield. Okay, no, I have only 2 I can put in there right now, so put 1 into inventory management. We'll put another 1 into persuasion, and I will put the 1 into leadership. Let's just get it out of the way for now. I normally bump a lot of skills into throwing because I don't end up using that skill. But now the name of our character is something I haven't really thought about. Being a foreigner from the land of Jeroya, you are from Jeroya, and you are coming to Calradia, which is where you play. Calradia is split into several factions, each based on a real-world faction, or a real-world monarchy, I should say, of the past. What should I name this character? What's a name I've used often when I've made a character to make this memorable for myself? You know, let's do the last name I did. I liked the name I did for my last character, in all honesty. I like the name Izrod. Simple, elegant, a little unique, putting the Z in there, whatever. Now, tutorial. Adjust your character's face using the buttons and the sliders. Draw at the head, use the stick, and you can also zoom in and out with the right stick by holding down LB. I didn't know you could do that! The things you learn something new every time you play this game. Interesting. Anyway, I'm not going to go too much into the character creation because it's fairly basic, and no matter what, you're always going to look like a potato to some degree. I'm going to... I think I'll go with the one I started on. Give myself a nice beard. There we go. Get some hair. Oh yeah, I can zoom out. Oh, that's so neat. I didn't know I could do that before. We'll go with some short hair for now. Make a... Because we can always change this, actually. The game is very neat. You can always just change your character. Let's make him as young as he can go, maybe? If I look older. Should I make an older character? Old Izrod coming over? No, we'll start young. I'm a young man. You hear about Calradia, a land torn between rival kingdoms, battling each other for supremacy, a haven for knights and mercenaries, cutthroats and adventurers, all willing to risk their lives in pursuit of fortune, power, or glory. In this land which holds great dangers and even greater opportunities, you believe you may leave your past behind and start a new life. You feel that finally, you hold the key of your destiny in your hands, free to choose as you will, and that whatever course you take, great adventures will await you. Drawn by the stories you hear about Calradia and its kingdoms, you join a caravan, join a caravan, join a caravan, take a ship, join a caravan. Each of these are to a different city, the capital city of each faction, cities and corresponding faction being Praven, capital of Swadia, Ravedan, capital of Vagers, Tolga, capital of the Kargits, Sargoth, capital of the Nords, Jokala or Yelkala, I don't know. Nothing is pronounced in this game. So I just say Jokala, kingdom of Rodux, and Shariz, kingdom of the Serenid. So I'm going to go to the easiest one. These may actually, in a sense, go on a degree of difficulty as well, but I know Vagers can be hard, but also profitable because of a very strong enemy on the coast. But I'm going to start in Swadia. You came by caravan through the heartland of Calradia. Green shoots of wheat, barley, and oats are beginning to push through the dark soil of the rolling hills, and on the lower slopes of the snow-capped mountains, herds of cattle and sheep are grazing on the spring grass. Occasionally, too, you catch the sight of one of the great war horses that are the pride of the Swadian nobility. The land here is rich, but also troubled, as the occasional burnt-out farm bears witness. You keep a wide berth of the forest where desperate men have taken refuge, and it is some relief when you crest a ridge and catch sight of the great port of Praven, its rooftops made golden by the last rays of the setting sun. You are exhausted by the time you find the inn in Praven and fall asleep quickly. However, you wake before dawn and are eager to explore your surroundings. You venture out onto the streets, which are still deserted. All of a sudden, you hear a sound that stands the hairs of your neck on end, the rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. Oh no. And so the game starts. It's not just a text-based game. So you start in this alleyway in Swadia. There's even a little pot up in that window. There's so much little details in this game. Bandit. Oh wait, this might be kind of hard. Oh, I'm not gonna see how much damage I do to people. Oh, that's so scary. Oh, man, I'm so surprised I actually didn't take a hit in that first fight. And now, there you are. Merchant of Craven.
Are you all right? Well, I guess you're alive. At any rate, I'm not sure that we can say the same for the other fella. That's one less thief to trouble our streets at night. Although, heaven knows we won't be the last. Anyway, maybe you can help me with something. Let's talk more inside. Out here, we don't know who's listening.
The merchant takes you to his house. Once inside, he stands by the door for a while checking the street, and then, finally convinced you have not been followed, comes near you to speak. Now I'm in this guy's house. Again, it's very detailed. You never get to come back in here. But you get to, literally walk around, go downstairs. There's, this whole, wine cellar. All of the beginning options in the game have different text that displays, and each starting merchant has a different house, starting alley. So interesting. Anyway, let's talk to this guy for saving us.
Now, let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills driven to banditry by war, debt, or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town, looking for unwary prey. The watch commander tells us it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers, fewer men to keep an eye on the streets. But I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is that these bandits have an ally inside the walls, who helps them enter unnoticed and helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking, a lad from a prominent house out alone after dark in the times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here and didn't know how bad things have become. He had no such excuse, but he's family, so what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, then people will start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with the blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly, or you wouldn't be coming to Calradia to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down these bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson they won't forget, and get my brother back safe. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. What do you say?
I am interested. I am not interested. I have more important business to do. Where's that going to get you in life? I am interested.
You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try and take on the whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted, I'll warrant. You'll first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the villages around here looking for a bit of work. It's more interesting than tilling the soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you pay. So, take this purse of 100 dinars. Consider it an advance on your reward. Go round to the villages and use the money to hire some help. I'll reckon you need at least 5 men to take on these bandits.
Very good, sir. I'll go collect some men from around the villages.
Good. You can find me again in the tavern near Braven. After you got your group together, then we'll speak about what we do next.
Tutorial. You have taken your first quest. You may view your quest log by pressing, I guess that's start? Or select, I guess, technically I would say. Any time in the game. So now, again, I'm in his house. And this is the only time you get to be in here. Which is sad, because again, like, there's just like the detail of the flipped over chair. It's crazy. But press B to leave now. You can press B to quickly exit any location in the game. And it takes you to the world map. And the last thing we're going to do before I end this episode is just get the tutorial of the world map while I head back to the city. You are now viewing the overland map. Press A on the map to move your party to that location, enter the selected town, or pursue the selected party. Time will pause on the overland map if your party is not moving, waiting, or resting. To wait anywhere, simply press and hold B. Use left bumper and right bumper to navigate through buttons. Nope, don't want to go into that menu yet. We're going to save that for next time. I hope you enjoy watching this, and stay tuned to see me probably fail horrendously. Have a great rest of your day. Eat some pancakes or something. Bye. All right.